Here are two big questions about Australia's new social media law. Hi there, everyone. It's Jeff, and this is Plain English. This is the best podcast for learning English with current events and trending topics. Every Monday and Thursday, you listen to a new story in English. You can learn new words, learn new ways of expressing ideas, and you get to think in your new language. Today's story is part 2, so if you haven't heard Monday's episode, number 740, then go back and listen to that one. It's about a new law in Australia that will prohibit children under the age of 16 from accessing social media platforms. It just passed last year and is scheduled to go into effect later in 2025. Today's story is a continuation. It's about two big, unanswered questions around the new law. The first is, how will social platforms verify users' ages? And the second question is, what exactly is a social media platform? This is episode 741, so you can find the full transcript, fast audio, and practice activities at plainenglish.com/741. Before we start today's story, I'd just like to remind you that the podcast is just one part of how we can help you upgrade your English skills. At plainenglish.com, you can make faster progress with active learning strategies. You can take quizzes, do activities, listen to the fast version of the audio, watch video workshops, practice what you learn, and even join a live call with JR and me. It's all about helping you build your skills to become a better, more confident English speaker. Sound good? Go to plainenglish.com to start your free 14-day trial today. Now, let's jump into today's story. In November 2024, Australia passed a law that will ban children under the age of 16 from social media platforms. It's the first law of its kind in the world, and it had broad support in Australia. Over 3/4 of the public supports the law. The Prime Minister said he wants children to have a childhood again. The law is scheduled to go into effect later in 2025, but it's still not clear exactly how this law will work. In this story, we'll talk about two big questions that social media platforms and the Australian government will have to deal with. First, how are the platforms supposed to verify the ages of their users? Second, what even counts as a social media platform? Start with age verification. The law says that social media platforms must take reasonable measures to verify the ages of their users. But this is vague. There are several ways to verify age online, but each way has its problems. The easiest way to verify a user's age online is with a credit card. Enter the credit card number, and the site can check the user's age against the bank's records. But this is unreliable because it's so easy to borrow or steal another person's card. Another way to verify ages is with government identification. Upload a copy of your identification and then take a picture of yourself with your device. The system attempts to match the photo on your ID with the photo you take in the moment. If your photo matches, and if you're of age, then you're approved. This method is more reliable, but it's expensive. There are many hundreds of types of government ID. Platforms need to separate the real ones from the fake ones. But here's another thing. Some teenagers, even those past their 16th birthdays, might not even have an official government ID. I didn't get mine until past my 16th birthday. So many 16-year-olds in Australia won't be able to prove their ages using only government ID. That leads us to the newest way to verify ages: artificial intelligence. Take a picture of yourself and AI will estimate your age. This method is new and improving, but it's not perfect. Systems can make a reasonable guess at users' ages, accurate to within a couple of years. But the accuracy is uneven. It works best for people of middle age and with lighter skin tones because those faces are overrepresented in the model's training data. But the system works less well for people outside middle age and for people of other ethnicities. So AI age estimation can't be the only answer either. The whole point is to verify users around age 16, and the models aren't good at that yet. The question is, how will the Australian government and social media platforms agree on what is a reasonable effort to verify ages? And how easy will it be for kids to get around the new verification systems? The second question about Australia's law is, what is a social media platform? This is more complicated than you might think. The law says that a social media platform is one that facilitates social interaction, content sharing, and user-generated content. The problem is, there isn't a bright line that divides social media platforms from other types of sites. Many sites have social elements even if they are primarily for other things. Australia's e-Safety Commissioner will be in charge of determining which sites are classified as social media and which are not. But let's have some fun. Remember that the age verification law applies to platforms that facilitate social interaction, content sharing, and user-generated content. That's the definition. So Facebook, X, Instagram, and TikTok all count. They are primarily about user-generated content. Messaging apps like WhatsApp and Telegram are a borderline case. They primarily offer direct messaging, calls, and file sharing between two people. They also have group messaging for small groups. That wouldn't seem to meet the definition of user-generated content. But these platforms also have stories features, which are definitely social. Telegram is known for its large groups and broadcast channels, which feel like a private, closed social network. It's not clear if WhatsApp or Telegram will be subject to the new law. Twitch is a live gaming platform. Content creators can stream themselves playing online games or simply just living their lives. But the streams also have a live comment feed, which can feel social. Something tells me Twitch and similar platforms will have to comply with the new law. Next, what about a site like Goodreads? Goodreads is a platform that lets you look up books and discover new books. But there are also a lot of user-generated reviews. You can create a profile with an activity stream and connect with other users. Will Australia really kick 14-year-old book nerds off Goodreads? For that matter, if book reviews count as social, what about shopping sites like Amazon, which have lots of user-generated reviews? By the same token, Strava is a fitness tracking app, but it also lets you connect with friends and post your workout details, including the route you took on a bike ride or a run. Is that what Australia means by harmful social media? What this shows is that social is not a place that you go or an app that you open. It's a characteristic of online life. People like sharing their opinions, generating content, and creating profiles. It's built into so many of our online experiences. Australia wants to keep kids off social media platforms, but so many sites that kids and adults use have a social component. I wouldn't want to be that e-safety commissioner trying to decide which platforms are subject to the law and which are not. This is a law that might have good intentions behind it, but I really don't think the lawmakers thought this through. This is going to be impossible to enforce. They worry about the cyberbullying and the body shaming and the pro-suicide messages that can show up in the TikTok or Instagram algorithms, and that is a legitimate thing to worry about. But is that really a problem on LinkedIn or Goodreads or Strava? And should every app with even a small social component now have to collect personal data on users' ages? It will be interesting to see how this plays out between now and the time the law comes into effect. That's all for us here at Plain English. This was episode number 741, so you can find the full transcript, exercises, translations, and fast audio at plainenglish.com/741. If you've ever thought you wanted to listen to Plain English at full speed, just like English sounds on the radio or TV, then check out the fast version of Plain English. It's right there on the page at plainenglish.com/741. Find the button that's called Full Speed right above the audio player. We'll be back with a new topic next Monday. See you then. Listen up if you speak Spanish, Portuguese, Chinese, German, French, Italian, Japanese, Polish, or Turkish. One of the most frustrating things about listening and reading in a second language is being confused by unfamiliar words or phrases. When you listen to plain English, or when you read the transcript, you probably encounter some words you don't know. When that happens, you have a few options. You can stop the audio, go look up the definition, then return to the episode, find your place, and press play again, but that's exhausting. Or you can just skip it and be confused. That's no fun either. But what if you could see the translation of the word into your language instantly without having to stop the audio, without having to look anything up? Well, you can at plainenglish.com. For each episode, we translate about 100 words and phrases from English to 9 languages: Spanish, Portuguese, Chinese, German, French, Italian, Japanese, Polish, and Turkish. And we highlight those words in blue. All you have to do is hover your mouse over the highlighted word and you'll see the translation instantly. It works great on mobile too. It really makes listening a lot more satisfying, and it's a great way to expand your vocabulary in English. The best way to see these translations is to sign up for a free 14-day trial at plainenglish.com. During your trial, you can read as many transcripts as you like, all with the translations into your language. So sign up for your free trial today at plainenglish.com.